private school and it costs a lot of money to go. That's also invaded. I was actually I was there for some sort of professional event like 10 years ago, and there was like a ton of invaders 10 years ago. And it's kind of on the island if you're familiar, AR, Minneapolis. But yeah, Minneapolis is really, really bad. You got to understand, like, it used to be a German, Scandinavian area. So when I went to high school, and I, graduated in 2001, we had, I don't think, any Somalian in the high school. And then at Apple Valley, and then now it's 50% Somalian. And that's like a upper middle class suburb.
Yeah, Apple Valley is it's a nice area. A lot of white neighborhoods, but yeah, go out at night around there, and yeah, it's about a bunch of drip towels running around. And yeah, I did some work on, they have Apple Valley North and Apple Valley South High School now. I did a bunch of work on the South School, and yeah, there was 2 years ago, there was a lot of Somalians in there, but yeah, they just keep going fucking south and north and west, but they ain't coming east. We'll lift that goddamn bridge, I swear to God.
Are you talking about Eastview and Apple Valley? Not that it matters.
Yeah.
Okay, because Eastview is the other one. Yeah, no, Eastview's been around for a long time. But yeah, both are invaded, like 50%. Yep. Eastview is the newer one, Apple Valley is the other one. But yeah, all the Minneapolis schools, my sister went to Southwest, and in Minneapolis, directly in Minneapolis, not a suburb. And it's just like downtown Boston, except it's much worse in Minnesota. And I don't think people understand. And that's why Fish was trying to illustrate that when he was speaking, which is that it's so Somalian. We got another person here from Minneapolis that maybe could talk more about it. I am free, just requested.
Yep, he's got a mic. If you want to talk on that, I am free, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you, Tracy.
Is Barry still in the room?
Yep.
Barry, I wanted to ask you. Okay, so this kid today, Fish, did you get his handle? Because I didn't follow him, and I wanted to. Also, did he say that he was gay? Because I didn't hear that part. Did he say he was gay?
No, he didn't say that.
Okay, so because I heard everything he said, but in high school, depending on where he went to high school, if you're talking to the counselor or gender affirming teacher, they might write something down on paper. Are you gay? Do you have feelings? Blah, 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 blah. And he could have checked, no, I'm not sure, no. And then they categorize him as gay. That's how they do it. Just like they did with COVID. If you didn't have a symptom whatsoever, but you died, then they say you died of COVID. Same kind of bullshit. That's just a take.
I'm kind of confused by that. So you're a teacher. Well, I don't mean a doctor, Tracy. You know a lot about the education system. And you're saying when they give these surveys to students, for whatever reason, if they mark something as kind of like whatever, then they mark that person according to, just mark them as gay or something? Well, sorry, I'm kind of confused.
No, that's what I said. Now, they don't do that in my school. We don't have that. We've never had a gay pride flag. We have no books in our library like that. We don't have that. But yes, that's what these woke teachers do. That's what the woke teachers do.
They'll amend and sort of fabricate?
Yes.
That person marks all no? Okay, I got it.
Yes, just like no different than when they book somebody in the jail and they're clearly brown, they mark them as white. It's all this woke DEI stuff that the bad ones are still doing it.
Unbelievable.
Falsifying records.
They're doing it because we allow them. Like we're not screaming from the rooftops, knock it off. This isn't true. This is fake. You know, that the idea that a teacher could classify the sexual orientation of a child is completely ridiculous. It's even worse in that parents in Minnesota get locked out of their children's medical records when their child is 12. How is 12 a legal consent age for anything? Let alone these flags hanging in children's hospitals. I mean, the indoctrination is deep, and we have to start to address it. We have to say, you're crazy. This is insane. Even before all of the trans shooters, there was a shooting in Minneapolis. This is a children's hospital in Minneapolis, and you have a trans flag hanging on the wall. This is ridiculous. Take it down now. Or the people are going to make a certain tweet go viral. They're going to figure out where it is, and you're going to have 1,000 Turning Point protesters in front of your facility. Like, you want to play this game, we'll play this game. Or do what's right. And you know what's right. You're an adult. These are children. All right, I'm going to yield because I'm just getting really pissed off and I'm driving. So
Yeah, we hear your frustration. We all feel that way. Hospitals are private. So, you know, Trump has already put out an EO that all that stuff needed to be taken out of schools and whatnot. But
hospitals are not private. They receive lots of public funding.
Public funding, yeah.
This one specifically is attached to a public university. It's not a private place.
Okay. And where is the university getting their funds?
Mostly from the state and federal funding.
Okay, then there we go.
Every single student loan is underwritten by the federal government.
Okay, then
Just about every one of them.
if we had that university and if they had an X account here, we could expose it right here on
They
X.
do, yes.
It's in the
It's
post.
the
They
University of
have one.
Minnesota. There's only one hospital that's attached to a university in Minneapolis, and it's the University of Minnesota. Twin Cities, which is, by the way, speaking of fish, is basically next to Little Mogadishu, which is where all the Somalis are.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if Fish ever filled out a form, answered any kind of question about his sexuality while was at that school. Where that came about that he was categorized as gay. If that's what happened.
Okay, so I don't remember him saying anything about that. Maybe he did. I don't remember it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Overwatch or Beirut, if you heard him.
I don't remember him saying he was gay. I don't remember that. If it did, I must have missed it.
Oh, well, I thought that's what, Barry, I thought that's what you were saying, is that you were hoping he didn't make the wrong choices being gay. I must have misunderstood that.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard to understand anyhow. I realize that, but no, he's not gay. No, I didn't want to get into his parents' life or anything like that, you know. I know he did talk something about, you know, the transgender bullshit, and but I'm right there with I Am Free. We need to not even have that paperwork in the school system to ask. It's none of their business. It's not their children. They don't have a right to ask our children, not theirs. These are our children. So we should penalize any school that uses that type of criteria to determine what they deem as gay or whatever. You know, I heard this damn shooter's gay lover is supposed to be a fur, some type of a damn fur baby, whatever the hell that means, some type of an animal. How old are these people? 20%, 25% of Gen Z? I don't know if that figure's true. I hope it ain't. But 25% of our youth is looking like, you know, they're gay. No, we got to get this paperwork out of the school system. That don't even come up. You don't even ask. You don't have a right to ask, or you will be sued. And until we can start suing people, nothing's going to change. So if any of your kids go to school and you find out, you know, they have a meeting with the teacher or the counselor, whoever it may be, and that paperwork comes up and they tell you about it, you know, you take it to the radio station, you take it to the news channel, you take it to X, you take it to us. We'll bombard that school. You take it to Charlie Kirk's organization. You know, we got to do whatever we got to do to help Trump, you know, because, you know, they're still going to continue doing their dirty deeds. And with that said, I see some hands.
Well, a lot of this, I just wanted to respond to that, right? And Barry, I completely agree with you. We're trying to make sense of crazy. We're trying to rationalize the irrational. No, you are mentally ill. That's what that is. Whether it's a fur baby or your gender XYZ AB number 2, I don't care. It's all shit. That's not normal. It's illogical. It's against the way that you were born. And we're not playing your game anymore. That's it. I know Overwatch has got his hand up. I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, I am free. I just want to ask you: Are you going to have to access that facility again in the near future, or do you need to go back to that facility? Do you have a photograph of the flag?
The post is in the purple pill.
Okay. Well, so I would.
And the answer is yes, but I can handle my own. I may get doxxed, unfortunately, but I'm done. We're done playing these games.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would maybe do a little intel if I did have to go back or needed to use a facility. Talk to the maintenance people, maybe any of the janitors or anything. Ask them, hey, just get some intel. How long's that been hanging there? When did they do it? Just give a little background. I would call the administrator of the hospital, and I would light his ass up and say, hey, I saw this. I have photographic evidence of it. I know you've been doing it it's been here this long. I know this is state funded, or, you have federally funded funds through the college or whatever, and it needs to come down right away. And you can either take it down, or I'm about to rain hell down on you on online platforms. And see what he does, and then we can go from there.
I just got rain hell down. Let's just rain hell down.
Sounds
We're done
good.
playing
Sounds
games.
Good.
Sorry, Tracy, I put it up in the purple pill without asking.
It's okay. I trust you. You're good. Is there something that's supposed to be happening forecasted September tomorrow? September 13th or 15th or something like that?
14th?
Yeah, what's supposed to be happening?
I'm not exactly sure, but this is a day that's been talked about for quite some time. I don't know any specific details, but I heard there's supposed to be a lot of chaos and mayhem going on. So I guess we'll see. I don't want to be the bad news, the bearer of bad news, but I mean, Brock, you were touching on this the other day on the general space, and the way you said it, it really sunk deep into my heart. Not in a good way either. Like, this is some bad shit coming, and we don't know what it's gonna be. But I don't know if you remember saying anything like that, Brock. But
You mean about?
I do.
I was praying during that space, and I came back with
Maybe.
one more comment. Yeah, because I usually try to make like 2 comments during the morning spaces to limit myself so I don't talk too much. But I had been praying while listening to the space, and for whatever reason, something came over me, and I felt like, it just feels like we're in a civil war atmosphere after this Charlie Kirk assassination, and there's going to be cyber attacks to take out the electrical grid. And maybe this is just because I worked as a software architect on a cyber defense platform for data centers between 2020 and 2024. So, I mean, I have a lot of fear about it, but I've also been hearing stuff, just the sentiment on the internet as well. It's just kind of like, formulating it all together with the Holy Spirit. It just feels like they're going to do something, a false flag of some sort.
Hey, Tracy, can you hear me? Can
Yep.
anyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, I don't know how to put my hand up. So hello, and I see I turned myself into a speaker, but I wasn't able to find how I put my hand up. I just have a question, and I don't know if y'all discussed it while I was not in one of the rooms you've had today. It looks like this was put up about 21 hours ago, but I just came across a video where it shows Charlie sitting there just before he gets shot, and I know seen the guy with the white and then the guy behind him in the black have you making the hand gestures, but have you seen the man that's standing to his right in the green shirt? He looks like some type of security, and it looks like he's pulling a gun and shooting Charlie. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, we talked about it in the other space.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I
No,
have tried to listen in as much as I could, but
No, it's okay. And if you have I don't know if you have an iPhone or what you have, but there's down at the bottom of your space window, there's a little heart symbol with a plus. If you click
Yes.
that's how you can. Off to the right is your hold your hand up symbol.
I see it now. Okay, well, it's never come up before, so maybe I didn't have my microphone on, but I certainly appreciate it.
No worries,
And,
no worries. But yeah, anybody else want to comment and give her an update on that?
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you came up to talk. And
Tracy,
yeah,
I'm just an old lady that would rather listen, I guess.
no, we love that. We love
Well,
that.
I love y'all. I've really enjoyed listening to all the chats I've been in. So
Yeah. When you
appreciate it.
choose your hand, you can choose what color your hand is. It doesn't have to be that yellow.
There, I did it. And how do I take it down? Just like that. Okay.
Do you see how you
Well-
can change your hand to white and not make it the default yellow?
No, I
Well,
don't.
so-
I'm on a I am on. Let me see.
Let me show you.
I'm
So go.
on a MacBook, I guess. My son got it for me, and I
Oh,
don't,
okay.
I'm
Okay.
a Windows person, and I'm learning. So, but yeah, I don't see how I could do that.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Okay.
And then you can also change the color of your heart. It can be purple, red, blue, white, yellow, green. You can always, yeah, it's fun. Okay, well, you come up and talk again. If something comes up,
Okay.
What
Well,
do you-
if y'all could just tell me, I mean, what do you think about that? It's almost like John Kennedy when the driver pulled around and you could see him with a gun, the driver shoot. So I just wondered if Can you give me a this is stupid, it didn't happen, or what do y'all think?
I don't see the position of the guy to the right of Charlie. He has his elbow all the way down against his torso at the moment of the shot, and then immediately after his shot, his arm's going to come open, and then his right arm drops down, and he's holding an object. I can't really tell 100% what it is. It does kind of look like a gun, but I don't see any way, to me, unless there's missing frames, where he could shoot diagonally behind him and hit, or to the side of him through his torso and closed arm gap there, and hit Charlie with any kind of accuracy. So that's,
yeah, it looks like a really weird shot. So let me ask you another quick question. My son showed me a short clip today. I haven't seen this up on X, but it was a blood pack or something. I forget what he called it, but he had the video of where this bulge comes out of his shirt. It doesn't come out, but his shirt kind of blows up right there at the collar. And then within, immediately after, you see the blood flowing. I'm just wondering, in this shot that I just talked to you about, I see for the first time the shirt kind of blousing out. And so I don't know. I was excited to see that, and I don't believe it's this kid, but anyway, that's just me.
go ahead, AR.
Well, you know what? I've watched a lot of videos. We've all watched a lot of videos. And yeah, one of the first videos I ever seen, right after I seen him get shot, and someone did a slow motion, and they're like, "Oh, there's a black spot on his shirt." Well, that was a mic so that he could talk. Even though he was grabbing a microphone. And once you see that shot hit him, like, I want to believe that it hit a bulletproof vest up in the corner and then ricocheted, and that's where you see his shirt move.
Okay.
And go up into his neck. But yeah, I've heard a lot about the whole blood, the bag with the fake blood in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have a bag in your lower jaw, okay? Because this stuff is just pouring out. So there's no way a bag in your chest is going to be pouring blood out.
Yeah, and also, have you ever seen? Because I've never shot that particular gun.
We don't know what gun it really was. I mean, I have my own.
I know.
Actually. Yeah,
I've got an AR and I've got an AK-47, and some others. But would that just if that rifle, would that put just a hole in his neck like that, or would it
the entry
have his neck out?
The entry wound would put a small hole the size of the bullet.
Okay.
And what happens when that bullet hits any kind of tissue or meat, it starts to roll around and tumble and at a very fast pace.
Right.
And when it does hit a bone, it starts jumping around, breaking up, where it causes a lot of damage. But we haven't got an autopsy report. I don't know if we're ever going to get one.
I heard they're not doing one.
I hope they do, because I would like to know if he got shot from behind.
Yeah, that would me too.
Well, he's in a casket. I mean, they're going to bury him. So, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Take him out of the casket and do the autopsy? Don't they usually do that before?
Yeah, this is just too quick. And then you got video of people cleaning up the crime scene. Where the fuck is the FBI?
Yeah. Well, they always do that. They're always real quick to rush in and, wash things down or cart things off in dump trucks to China on ships. But the other thing, let me think. I think it had to do, I wanted to say something else. Y'all go ahead. I'll think of it.
There's...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. AR, I've seen photos today, because I thought that's what happened too, that it ricocheted off a vest. But there's all kinds of photos out there today where it's obvious he wasn't even wearing a vest. Now, has all this shit been planted, these photos and things? Who knows? Who knows what we're looking at, you know? But like she said, it all happened way too quick. Everything, the cleanup, the no emergency personnel, none of this makes any sense at all. So I still, I don't know. I just shake my head.
Well, and Deb, I don't know if you heard me earlier talking on the general space and on DEI space last night, but what doesn't really make any sense to me is that we have these people that are doing signals, and I can throw that up in the nest too, where they're doing hat tips and they're rubbing their arm and just it's like a third base coach at a baseball game, and this shooter, I really don't think it's the shooter. I know you guys are probably getting sick and tired of me saying this, but
I don't either.
I'm a hunter, and I know when I'm focused on my target, the only focus that I have through my scope, if it's even 200 yards, when you're at 200 yards, you're dialing that scope in, and you don't see anything but what you're focused on. So there's no way the shooter could see these hand signals. So somebody was up there or wherever the hell they were watching these. It had to be a spotter telling, okay, shoot, because that just doesn't work. Go ahead and look through a scope and do it at 200 yards and focus on one spot. You don't see other things around that area. So
even at 200 yards, you need to have a spotting scope for the spotter to identify what the signals are.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And you'd have to have an earpiece to communicate with the shooter. Yeah, it's all sus, man.
Well, again, just like Waco and Ruby Ridge and all the other stuff starting way back then, I think their modus operandi now is just to throw so much crap out there that's BS, because they know we have X, they know we have people online researching and digging, and I think they need to throw so much distractions out there so we can't ever get to the bottom of anything. I mean, there's now a drone. They have a drone captured flying over the area at the exact time. That video's out there. I just saw that today. The rifle that they showed found is not a breakdown rifle. It hasn't been modified to be like an assassin's type rifle where you could turn break it in half and then reassemble it with accuracy. Those are very difficult to make, especially to make them accurate and repeatable. To disassemble that rifle with the scope on one part and the barrel where the projectile goes down on the other part, it's very difficult to make a rifle that'll break apart and go back together every time and still be zeroed for a cold bore zero. So this was one shot. This is a cold bore zero, which takes some skill. You basically if you want to practice for your cold bore zero, that means you go shoot and you record in your logbook where that first round hits. Your subsequent rounds can vary a little bit because the barrel starts to get warmed up. So to know that, you have to allow the weapon to cool off, clean the weapon if you're going to shoot it in that condition for the first shot, and you have to keep doing that. It takes a lot of time to absolutely get that cold bore zero nailed down. The snipers do this. And then they also record in the logbook. They know that once I shoot the first shot, I know that it's going to be, half an inch this way or whatever it is. So, it was one shot, one kill. And that does take, some skill to practice, dependent. But again, we don't know if that's the rifle. Obviously that rifle wasn't in his backpack. I got my one of my ARs out and measured it. Even if you took the flash hider off, you're still talking 23 inches for the upper. Obviously, this wasn't an AR rifle that was found. There's no special, anything about that rifle. It's just a stock with the barrel mounted in it. There's no machining done to make it break apart. The scope is mounted the scope is mounted all the way far back to the front ring is touching the forward bell of the scope, which is not how you mount a scope, but regardless, in that position with a regular stock for most males, if you were to set up in the prone position, that scope would be craned so far back you would not be able to shoot that rifle. You'd have to crank your neck back to a ridiculous contortion to shoot the rifle with that scope that far back. So there's just so much stuff wrong. And then, just like Waco,
you'd almost be guaranteed to have a black eye with the scope positioning so far back on that rifle. That's not the rifle. That's a patsy rifle.
Yeah, well, you could.
Like the one that we've seen pictures of, there's no way that could be. That's not a shooter's rifle. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, let me finish. But even if you put your eye right up on the scope, there's a thing called eye relief. So you have to have like an 1.5 to 2 inches on most scopes, most decent scopes, between your actual eye and the scope, or you can't see the whole reticle. If you choke up on the scope and put your eye right next to it, you can't see shit. You have to crane your head back. And with that far back, you just wouldn't be able to do it. It's kind of hard to explain. So that's bullshit. And again, just like Waco, they bulldozed the site. You've got video now. That's what when I said on the space today, like William Dafoe in Boondock Saints, when he came upon that crime scene and he lost his, he went crazy because the crime scene was contaminated. That's what I started going through my mind when I saw these guys, these crews out there disassembling taking cameras down off the stage and moving stuff around. I'm like, how is this? This is insane. How is this not quarantined by the local PD? No one should go in there. Nothing should move. Where's the blood spatter pattern? Where's all this stuff? Where's the exit wound? Where's the all forensics should have been all over that place. Nobody should have been in there. And it's just cool. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this is just BS. You just don't do that. That's just not done to a crime scene. I'll land it.
Well, I wish Susie would come up here and talk, because she was on our space last night, and she said some pretty interesting things. And I mean, she doesn't even think that he's dead. And I going back and she's like, "Oh, don't call me crazy." Well, I'm not calling you crazy or anything like that. I mean, your opinion, you have evidence and what you feel. I mean, that's totally fine. It doesn't make us crazy people. But I go back and I just put up in the Jumbotron, this is supposedly Charlie Kirk. We don't see his face, but this is supposedly his wife. And look at his hands. You can't even see his fingernails. I mean, did they do that good of a job? When I die, man, make my fingers look that good. This does not look real, people. And when someone dies and you don't get an autopsy report, I've seen people wanting to bury or be cremated. It takes even just a simple homeless person. It takes multiple days. It's like anywhere from 4 to 7 days before they bury or even do anything with a body. And yet now he's being buried. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, that's wild. Also, the crazy in me sees that his one of his buttons is unbuttoned on his coat there too, which is weird.
Yeah, but that he's already been embalmed and everything, like already this quickly, and no autopsy, like so sketch. This video, they don't even show his face, right? Like, not that you should be showing faces in caskets, right? I mean, I don't think that's morally a good thing to do, but still, if you're going to put a video out there, like, show the whole thing.
It was just to put any of that shit out there. If that were my husband, you don't do that. Right. You don't do that. This is all whack. And I'm sorry, the wife, the speech last night or the address, 2 days after you sit and watch your husband be murdered, executed, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get up and be able to hold yourself together for 20 some minutes. And I just, none of this fits. None of it makes sense.
Okay, let me say a couple things. About the autopsy. So sometimes, this is something to think about. Sometimes criminal autopsy records can potentially incite negative reactions, like copycat behaviors, and especially in unstable individuals. So that is a reason why sometimes they don't release autopsies, the gore, because they look at the graphic, they say it went in through the left ventricle and came out the ear, or whatever, and that fascinates people. It's interesting what bullets do in the human body. I'm just saying that sometimes with unstable people, they do the copycat thing. So that's a plausible explanation for that. And then, with all due respect, I just think that Erica, however she did it, in the time that she did it, it was her thing. So, maybe she wants to get that part of the public stuff over with so she can heal with her kids and her family. However, that's going to be the poor lady. So, maybe she just wanted to get the public thing over with. And that's plausible too. I'm just playing the other side here so that I don't get in a groove of hearing the same thing. And so must be what happened or what it is. It's always good for me anyway, to keep me balanced, is to have a different side of something that's possible.
Yeah, that's a good point, Casey. You always got a calm view of things. Let's go with Salty, and then Armando, and then Library, and then Barry.
Okay, I've just got a couple of things. First, Tracy, I'm a widow. We were married 47 years. And my only thought, I don't remember anything the first 3 days, but I know I handled everything. He was a colonel, Air Force retired, and I can relate to the wife last night, Erica, because I did stand up and say some things at my husband's funeral. And for me, it was, I had to do a good job because Keith deserved it. I said his name out loud, but I had to do that. I was honoring my husband and his memory, and for all the people that were there, I had to honor him. And so that, to me, I saw her last night, or I saw it today, and I could really relate to how she was handling it. Her voice would break every now and then, but I thought, for me, I had to do it for my husband. It was something I had to do to honor his memory. This is a crazy question. Where is the Jumbotron? Is it that little thing that y'all have up above the chat?
Yeah, and sometimes above it you'll see some dots. One's usually highlight. Okay, so each dot represents a
right, a picture, a different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I've got that. The second thing, our third, I wanted to say was, have you seen the post that Trump put out with the rest in peace Charlie Kirk? Under his name is the Shlomo Pearl. And do you know what that means? Because I went and looked it up. It's kind of crazy, and it kind of goes to, is he under witness protection? Because I put it up on, I just posted it a few minutes ago before I came on. But at YouTube, it was a quick video, and it just said that means don't be gullible, and it means stand your ground. So, he had just, Charlie apparently had just been through some arguments or altercations with some important people. And for Trump to put that under Charlie's name on that poster or whatever he put out. It's got the American flag, the Israeli flag, Trump and Charlie are face to face, and it just says something, great Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, Shlomo Pearl. And it apparently some of the people think that could mean like a witness protection. Do you?
I threw it up in the nest.
Okay.
That is very interesting. I did see that, but for some reason I kept on scrolling. So now, so I'm going to go check it out. Does anybody else have a thought about that? That is fascinating.
We got Armando, and then Library, and then Barry, and then Colleen. So Armando, go ahead.
Hey, Overwatch, I want to add to what you were saying. I posted a video in my timeline of this ex-military guy. His name is Heavy Duty Country, and he went through the timeline of the footage of the guy walking up the stairs, climbing or jumping off the building, and he was saying that there's no way that this guy has a rifle on him or even tucked in him. The picture that they posted with the rifle in that box, I don't know if the FBI put it together, but when he jumped off the roof, it's not like somebody saw him running around with the rifle intact. But I hate to bring this up. I don't want to be that guy, but do you remember the movie Sniper? Remember with old Mark? He was in the building with them guys, but somebody else took the shot. So I'm thinking, what if somebody told him just to go up there and do footage, fake footage, but I think maybe somebody else took the shot. Like maybe there was another sniper somewhere and they just used the rifle that they had in that box as the one that they're saying that he used.
100%.
I so thought of that too. I totally did. Very good.
Yeah, there's no so I even got my AR out today with the measuring tape and measured it. I get 23 inches is a short if I take the flash hider off for the upper to disassemble, but that's not the rifle that was shown. So so the scene where he's going up with his backpack, where's the rifle? There's no rifle. This stinks. This stinks. It doesn't make sense. Now the FBI is saying he changed clothes twice. He took the rifle apart. He put the rifle back together. Even that bolt action rifle, it looks like that's at least a 22-inch barrel. With the receiver and everything on that type of rifle, it's probably 25, 26 inches. If he was able to take that, I'd still think that's the rifle. There was no rifle in the backpack that I could see. There's just too much that doesn't make sense. We're not being told the truth. I've already seen enough to convince myself that this is BS. What we're being told. It just, a logical investigation goes logically step by step, this, then this, and everything adds up. And it fits together like a puzzle piece. There's no weird stuff out here that doesn't make any sense. And there's just too much weird stuff that doesn't make any sense in here. And like you said, he jumped off the roof, with a gun down his pants and one leg locked stiff, and he jumped. No, it just doesn't work that way. So, anyways, Library, go ahead.
Can I just add one more thing there before you go, Library, which is that if this Tyler Robinson is the guy who jumped off the roof, it looked like a pretty significant jump. Wouldn't he have like a knee injury, maybe like a sprained knee? Because he did kind of like limp a little bit.
Yeah, and somebody tried to say that was because he had the part of the rifle down his pants or something like that. But he probably injured himself jumping off the roof. It's more likely. But go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say, keep an open mind when you see all of this. And remember, our government's been lying to us for years. Okay, those look like mortician wax hands. And usually they use that for people burned beyond recognition. Just putting that out there. And it is quite possible he went into witness protection because he had a threat on it, a real credible threat on his life, from the Mossad. And you see how the second button is unbuttoned? I mean, that's gentleman's dress code for I'm sitting down. You know, when you go to sit down, you unbutton that second button if you're not taking off your coat. And that's like a formal dress code thing. So, and I again, you know, I like got bitched out for, you know, saying this before, but, you know, do you remember like 15 years ago when people were talking about forensic science and arterial blood spatter and cast off? And, you know, it's people, they like kind of are looking for this. So if there's like a neck shot, usually there's arterial spray, you know, it goes everywhere. And if you've ever studied crime scenes or anything, or went to work at something like that, that's something that you would encounter. But it just, he's like in a little white tent and there's no blood anywhere except for on him. You know, that seemed kind of suspicious, but I don't blame him. I think his wife did a good job and everything, but maybe they were afraid that the focus would be on his wife and kids. You know, he's never shown his kids' faces in public, you know, in any media before. He's only showed his kids from the back, you know, because there's some credible threat there. And, you know, I don't blame him for being a young father and needing to bow out. And maybe the president gave him something, some way to bow out. I mean, that's the best scenario I see from this. And we should just honor whatever decision he made. And he made enough of an impact that we should still carry his message. And I'll land it right there.
All right. I don't see Armando anymore. Looks like he dropped down. Go ahead, Barry, and then Colleen.
Yeah, library. You brought up some interesting points. You know, I've watched those crime scene movies, not movies, but series. And you're right. You know, when I shoot grade, I use TopCon. And what that does is, you know, it does a 360 and it shows the angle and the elevation. I don't know what they call it on the crime scene, but I've seen them use it before. And I mean, they didn't even get a chance to use it to see what angle to make sure that shot came from that angle of that roof. I mean, you didn't see none of that. You seen everybody taking the stuff down right away, you know, packing up. And, you know, then you got you know, Cash App over there saying, yeah, he's my friend. I'll see you in Van Halla. He's your friend, Van Halla. What the? Your friend, you should know this guy, you know, is a Christian. What the hell are you talking about Valhalla for? And you're an Indian. I mean, totally whack. The whole thing's whack, and he's going to stand there and lie in front of the public saying he's your friend, and you don't even know what religion he is? That's what he makes his living on. Are you that stupid? God almighty. And, you know, the whole thing, there was some other point I wanted to touch on, you know. The wife, I think, you know, everybody grieves their own different ways, you know. I think I probably waited a year after my dad died and it hit me, and, you know, I started crying like a year later. So, I mean, I really couldn't make a determination. I mean, it sounded good to me, you know, inspiring that they don't know what they leased, you know, these evildoers, you know, and I actually made a couple of posts with that on there because it sounded so good. So, I mean, I really can't comment. Everybody grieves a different way. And there's one other thing I wanted to touch on. Oh, yeah. I mean, we got all these videos of him coming off the building. You mean to tell me there ain't one video of him in the parking lot climbing up somewhere? I mean, I haven't seen any. I don't know if any of you all have seen any, but you would think, you know, he had to get up there somehow. You know, you got footage of him jumping and running and jumping down, climbing down, walking across the parking lot, going into neighborhoods. There ain't no videos of him. You know, maybe there are. I see some hands up. Maybe somebody did see something. So I'm gonna see if any of you people have that information. Thank you for letting me speak.
All right, Colleen was next, then Deb, then AR.
Yeah, I was just gonna say pretty much everything. I think it was Salty Spirit. Is that the new lady here? And maybe Library. Yeah, this has just been so weird that, you know, he probably knew he was in danger, and maybe that's a way to get out of it because of everything that's transpired after, you know, the water hose blood show. You know, I mean, that's so weird in itself, you know. And to see all the different angles that are coming out now, you know, they've got a camera where the camera's behind and to the right of him, and it clearly looks like he was shot from behind, you know, and it blew out the front, you know. So there's no telling. We know we're going to be lied to, and that's why everybody is sleuthing right now and, you know, coming up with really nothing. But everything's just such a lie with the government. We'll probably never know the truth, unfortunately. But maybe he'll just pop back up someday when we get rid of who we need to get rid of, and I hope that's the case. You know, I really started thinking that way when I saw the bizarro clip of the wife on her knees at the casket. You know, and it just seemed like that was a show to me. That seemed like it was acting. You know, the things that she was saying, the close up with the camera. I mean, nobody does that. Period. You know, so yeah, I was just gonna say what the lady's already said, and we'll see what happens. You know, he shouldn't be going into the ground this quick, and we have all these diversions, and who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm all done.
All right, go ahead, Deb.
Shoot, I was reading through the comments in the purple bubble, and yeah, there's just so much floating around with I watched videos today on how they you know, how for movies and scenes they use, you know, blood and the tubing and the makeup and the this and the that. And then I watched Juan O'Savin. I don't know if you guys know who he is. I used to listen to him way in the 2020, and I hadn't for a long time. But he mentioned Valhalla and Charlie being in witness protection, and yeah, I mean, you know, gosh, you gotta. I guess and I had no clue. I saw clips of Charlie. I didn't follow him. My daughter did. She was pretty tore up about it, and I had no idea how big his organization was or is. And I started to look because I wanted to see if they had, oh God, what's it called? Turning Point USA. I wanted to see if they had it here for high schoolers or anything. And so I kind of started digging in last night. And then now today I got a text update. Thousands and thousands of requests to set up at colleges and high schools all across the country. You know, I mean, this is a huge, here's what I'm trying to say. Whatever took place, there's going to be, I believe, there's going to be a ton of good that comes out of it. You know, I hope to God that he's in witness protection. But no matter what, his impact, I just had no idea the guy was that big. You know, he did a good thing. He did a lot of good things. So anyway, I'll shut up.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hey, can you throw Susie Q a microphone? It's not working on my end.
Yeah, I'll try. Go ahead, AR.
Yeah, I was hoping that Susie would come up. You know, she had a lot of good information last night. And like I said, if she does come up and talk, nobody call her crazy because she's not crazy. You know, Beirut, I mean, you touched on some good points there, and what I wanted to talk about a little bit too was we have all these cameras all around, right? Where's the fucking drone? Where's the drone footage? Because we clearly can see that there's a drone in the air. I've seen video of it. There's a drone in the air. Like, it wouldn't pick that up. Like, what is this? This is CIA's drone? We can't talk about it because it's CIA? It's ridiculous. Where's the drone footage? And I know, I've had a drone. I talked about this last night on our space. I could be 200-300 feet in the air and go out in the fields and see deer and hover over the top of them and zoom in. And I can see their eyes. 300 feet. I can see their eyes. They're going to tell me that there's a drone flying around, which they don't want to talk about. They don't want to let you know, but there is one. Especially, well, like major events that are going on, like sporting events, there's always a drone flying around. But this was a major event, so why would they not have a drone flying around? And they did, but they don't want to tell you. So, I don't know. I know Susie's got a bunch of stuff on, like, you know, with the whole plane thing and the beacon going off, and was it really Charlie that got shot? You know, I don't know. You can put a mask on anybody and make them look like anybody. I don't know, but the whole ring thing and the hands in a casket, this doesn't line up. I mean, they're trying to tell, if people don't go out and just expose this shit right away, who's going to be filming and put this on X? Like instantly. Bullshit. This doesn't happen. Come on, people. We're not stupid. You know, it's like, oh, but they want you to know, like, oh, there he is. He's laying in his casket, and there's his hands, and they're so clean, and they look like fake freaking hands. They want you to believe that. That ain't Charlie. That is not Charlie's hands. I'm sorry. I don't care. Even being a father and raising your kids, your hands get dirty. There's wear and tear on your. Men have certain men hands. Okay. Those are not fucking men hands. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But it don't smell right. So I wouldn't eat it. I'll land there.
Tracy, you want to respond to that, or you want to go on to hands?
Yeah, let's go on.
All right, Armando, and then Colleen, and then Susie Q's up.
Is everyone familiar with Douglas McGregor, the Colonel?
Yes.
Y'all know who he is? He posted a video, and I can share the video, but he said that, I mean, he just came out flat out and said that Charlie was taken out. He said that Charlie had multiple accounts, and of course it's under the whole Turning Point thing. It wasn't like hidden accounts, but he said that there was $40 million worth of funds in these accounts, and they were all by Jewish donors. And mind you, this is an ex-colonel. He's a public speaker, and he would do his due diligence. I guess, a lot of these records, they have to be made public. So, yeah, he said that There was like 5 accounts totaling $40 million worth, and they were all from Jewish donors. And he said that he said pretty much Charlie was taken out. Yeah, I can share that video too. I'll drop.
Go ahead, Colleen, then we got Susie Q.
Yeah. Unfortunately, AR, his hands are shaped like that. That's something I notice with people. I look at their hands. I look at facial features, and I kind of study stuff like that. And his hands are actually like that. They're shaped just like they're long. They're thin. They're not manly at all. And but that wasn't what I was going to say. I can't really remember after what this guy just said. I'll have to come back. I should be jotting this stuff down, but because we go to so many good subjects. What I had to say was good, though. I just can't remember.
Okay, you come back when you remember, because I want to hear it.
All right, and we got Susie Q's up. Go.
Okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you remember seeing the planes on your TV on 9/11?
Yes.
Yeah.
And 24 years later, you know they were CGI.
Yes.
It didn't take me long to figure out that was there. That didn't. By the time the day was ending, 2 days later, I've got a notebook down and I'm writing and I'm making notes because in 2001 we didn't have X. And I'm reading and I'm listening to all these people that came on the news. And I listened over and over and over. That's what we're doing right here and now. I'm telling you, the man ain't dead. He knew Israel wanted him gone. He knew Israel wanted him removed some way. Now, I'm going to go right back to 2 days ago when it was announced that, it was the same day that Charlie was shot. Barron Trump was to be moving into the White House. Then today, we've got 2 different reports that's come out about the concerns Donald Trump has of Netanyahu and his abilities. All right. I'm not going to say Trump's afraid of him. He's probably really concerned for what Netanyahu and his agencies can do. He has his family, and Trump loves his family. And he knows that, if you were in Trump's, you would want your family around you at all times. You'd want Secret Service protecting them. You wouldn't want your son, your baby son, in Mar-a-Lago alone. Okay, I'm just letting you know that. Okay, so you got Barron Trump is moving back into the White House. Trump is really concerned with Netanyahu and the IDF. Or their secret, whatever you want to call them. And I can't stress that enough because he knows that, they have done, I do believe this is what I think took place. Trump told Charlie, we got to do something. Trump and Charlie put this together because Charlie was part of the family. He was very close with Donald Trump. He was like another child. And y'all call me crazy if you want to. I can't help. You won't be the first time you've called me crazy in the last 20 years. It won't be the first time. But I'm telling you what I'm seeing. What woman? I watched her live. I didn't see a tear. I'm sorry. If y'all think you saw a tear, I didn't see a tear. That makeup was just as good when she walked away from that podium as when she walked up to it. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And so, who in their right mind exposes yourself just doing just that one clip of her all in his, if you ask me what I'm looking at, she's in his crotch. Why would somebody put that on the internet? This stuff is crazy for us to even believe that the man's dead. If you ask me, I think in a year from now, she's going to have her a new husband. Okay? And he's going to be tall and thin, but a new face. Think about what I'm saying. And I do pray to God that that is what took place. Because for some reason, 2 or 3 days ago, it hit me. He ain't dead. And I told AR in open chat. I said, I don't believe he's dead. I don't believe they took him out. I believe he's gone into hiding. He's going to have a new face. He's going to be right there with his family. They did it to get him shut up. They had to shut him up. And I'm thankful that they didn't kill him. That's my book. That's the way I see it. I don't mean to upset anybody, but I want you to be aware of the lies that we have found out. I will say in the last 10 years, about the last 100 years. Everything's been a lie. It's all staged. So don't get so bent out of shape and sucked into all the drama that they're putting out there, and they want you to believe everything. Have you seen Donald Trump come forward and make, other than that little clip he did that night? He ain't said nothing else, has he? Why are they making such a martyr? Why are they making such an idol? Just today, Judge Janine says we need to have a day in just for Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk Day. Why? They don't want his name forgotten, and I agree with that. And I don't believe the people of America will ever forget him because it's 9/10. But just remember, when we're talking about the numbers, 45 is 9, and 47 is 11. Trump is 9/11.
Yeah, and all the astronauts on the Challenger are still alive to this day.
Yeah, that was a weird rabbit hole. I saw those photos. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But go ahead. I think it was Colleen and then Barry.
Well, when she's down on her knees at the casket and has her hand over his hand, that's really bizarre because her hand he's 6'5", and their hands are just about the same size, which that was bizarre. That shouldn't be happening that way with a dude who's 6'5". And Susie was right about the way that they they think about him. I never heard anything like that before, but Don Jr. put out about 3 paragraphs that came on X today about he's my brother. I consider him my brother and blah, blah, but, you know, all the mushy and all.
Last year, I'm not real sure where Trump was or why, but it was after Trump got the, it wasn't last year, it was just right after Trump had gotten the Air Trump Force One redone. Charlie and Don Jr. took it, and they were sitting in the captain's seat. And I remember one thing I remember about not in the captain's seat, but sitting it up where the pilot sat. And I remember them showing the sunset. For the love of God, I can't remember where they went or where they had been, but they had been somewhere across the water, and they were coming back and they were filming the sunset, and they were talking about different things. They're flying a plane, just whatever. But that film, that vision stays in my mind. That told me right then and there.
Sure, I've got a question for Susie. 9/11 was like one of my first big swallows of the red pill. So I'm trying to understand. Are you saying like the planes? But I did want to say this. You know, if I was going to pull off a bank job with